All right, all right, all right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. As usual, it is Wednesday. And you know what we do on Wednesdays here in the cave? We talk about a band or an artist that maybe you've never heard of. Eventually, maybe a song from a band that you know that maybe you don't know the song, some deep cuts. But I have been looking forward to today for a very long time. I don't even know if I have the ability to put into words this artist. It's a big, big influence in my life and my house. So I'm going to do my best to talk about this guy. So, who are we talking about today? Well, I've got my Biscuit Love mug in homage. That was by accident, but that's in Nashville. If you're ever in Nashville, go to Biscuit Love. It's life-changing. So who are we talking about today? We are talking about none other than Guy Clark. I was supposed to cover him recently, last week, but we mixed things up a little bit. His birthday on November 6th, 1941. He died in 2016. Who is Guy Clark? Well, Guy Clark, if you start reading some articles about him, first I want to know if anyone knows who he is before checking out the songs below. If you already knew him ahead of time, I want to hear from you below if you're aware of his stuff. But when you read any article about him, they refer to him as a Texas troubadour, a songwriter, a legend among songwriters, and the list goes on and on and on. He is or was born in Texas, and he basically spent through his high schools in Houston. He ended up settling after college in first LA for about a year. He met his wife Susanna around that time, and they were together for 40 years, and they were a songwriting pair. But they were in LA for about a year. He did not care for LA at all. That was where you're supposed to be when you were writing songs. And he wrote a little bit about that as far as that's concerned. But they picked up and they moved to Nashville, and that's where they would become a legendary pair as far as songwriting and singing is concerned. Basically, he was working for just a regular job, and he wanted to be a songwriter, and his wife Susanna said, you know what, you got to do that. You got to go ahead and write songs, and that's who you are, and that's what you're going to do. And so that's why they picked up and they moved. She herself was an accomplished songwriter, and she would kind of show him how it was done. She kind of joked that she had penned a few songs and that got picked up by Emmylou Harris and Kathy Mattea. So she's quoted as saying, he writes the classics and I write the hits, which is really funny. But if you look up Guy Clark and you read about him, you realize just how many people he influenced. His songs went to number one, not by him, by dozens of people, of artists that covered his songs, from Johnny Cash to Ricky Skaggs to Vince Gill. I mean, so many people sang his songs and made hits out of them, and they're just beautiful, beautiful songs and just great songs. He was a mentor to Steve Earle and Rodney Crowell, and best friends with Townes Van Zandt. Now, Townes Van Zandt, another person that you may not know, and you can't talk about one without the other, so we'll be covering him maybe as early as tomorrow. We'll see. So how did I find out about this person? Well, in the mid 90s, maybe the late 90s, a great family friend, Jeff Hayes, said, Mark, you need to come see these guys sing. You're going to go see these guys perform. They're going to be really, really good. And I was skeptical, never heard of them. And especially when he told me it was kind of like this folk country artists. But we went up to Northampton to the Iron Horse. 4 of us went, Sarah, Allison, and I saw them together. I saw Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt on a small stage, and it pretty much changed my musical trajectory at that point. I just fell in love with these two guys, and I got to see Guy Clark one more time after that. Got to meet him after the show down in his dressing room as well, shake his hand. So it's one of those things where if you go to a live show and you hear something and then you say to yourself, this is really, really good. But if you had heard it with no context, never seeing it play, that maybe you would just skip right over it. And I feel like that probably could be something that happened to me. I wouldn't have appreciated it as much if I hadn't seen him sing it live. So there is something to live music as far as that's concerned. It can kind of capture you and capture a moment. Who else? Let's see. we're going to figure out what direction to go here. And the other people that covered his music, I forgot to mention the Highwaymen. They took Desperados Waiting on a Train. That's his song. Who were the Highwaymen? Remember, Johnny Cash, Jennings, Chris Christopherson, and Willie Nelson. Another one of those hits. If you want to hear more about him and Townes Van Zandt, you have homework. You have two documentaries to watch. One is called Heart-Worn Highways. Look it up, check it out. You got nothing else to do in a pandemic. And then the one about Townes Van Zandt we'll mention on the show, but it's called Be There to Love Me, which is really, really good. So what are we talking about for songs? We're already at, what are we at, 5 minutes, so this could be a long one, but we're going to try to keep it brief. Okay, this is really hard to do. He's got a lot of songs. So I'm going to just try to highlight a bunch of them, but it's going to be a lot of them. So I challenge you to check him out and to listen to his music, but you have to really listen to the words to his songs because that's where he really shines. So let's list a few. LA Freeway, that's one where he's like fed up with LA. It's pretty good. That's a good song. She Ain't Going Nowhere. Desperados Waiting for a Train. Baton Rouge. He doesn't say Baton Rouge. He says Baton Rouge. I just love that song. That's a great one. Boats to Build. Another beautiful song. Ramblin' Jack and Mahan, awesome song about getting drunk and passing out behind a couch. No Deal. No Deal is a song of Townes Van Zandt. They would sing each other's songs and put them on records. And so that's one that you can check out as far as that's concerned. Maybe I'll put both versions on there. My Favorite Picture of You. That was one of his last songs, one of his last records. And one commentator said it was probably his best song, which is a high praise and quite a big claim. But My Favorite Picture of You, a friend of his came over to just kind of talk about different licks they had and different phrases they had, and he picked up on that one, and he said, I knew exactly what that song was going to be when he said that. And he went over and he got a Polaroid of his wife, Susanna, from 25 years earlier, and he said, this song pretty much wrote itself. It's a song about his wife. The picture apparently is of her staring at he and Townes Van Zandt because they've been day drinking and they're a little drunk and she's annoyed at them, and that's the look on her face, and that's his favorite picture of his wife. All right, so now we're getting to this part where we get to my favorites. This is the record you need to listen to. If you do one thing, you need to listen to Dublin Blues. This whole record right here, every song, you need to listen to it ASAP. I bet you will come away with at least one or two songs that you love. Dublin Blues, right off the bat, great song. Sitting here on a Spanish steps. Anyway, not caring where you are. Mad Dog Margaritas. I mean, the lines in these songs, you just pick them up. Black Diamond Strings, Shut Up and Talk to Me. Stuff That Works, awesome song about just the things that are important in your life. Hank Williams said it best. Baby Took a Limo to Memphis. I love this song. About it's just this woman, I assume it's Susanna, who just decides to take a limo to Memphis, and she just did it because she wanted to. Trying to Try, and The Randall Knife. The Randall Knife is a really touching song about he wrote after his 2 weeks after his father died, and it tells the story of that. It's a sad song, but it's a beautiful song. Anyway, and then we're talking about this song right here. This is the best of the best on here. Dublin Blues is probably right up there as far as this is concerned, but the song is called The Cape, and this song I can't stop listening to. I love this song. And my favorite line, you check it out, make sure you check it out, but my favorite line about this kid with an invisible cape is that he did not know he could not fly, so he did. Awesome song. So those are your Guy Clark songs. There's a lot of them there, right? I'm going to post a bunch. You got to check it out if you're ready for some American folk music. He is a legend. It's where you should start. There's lots of information about him out there, but give a listen. I just love this guy, love this music, and I can't say enough about it. It's really just pure poetry, and music is awesome. He was also in his spare time. He also made and repaired instruments, guitars, and such like that. So that's kind of cool because he's got workmanship kind of a theme through a lot of his songs. Anyway, we're at 9 minutes, so it's Guy Clark. We love Guy Clark. I know who you are out there, but give a listen. Tell me what you think. Start with The Cape, see what you think, in Dublin Blues, and we'll go from there. Have a great day. It's Wednesday. We're at time 10 minutes, and we'll talk some more about. We're going to be covering Towns Van Zandt real soon. So have a great day, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.